This time I have a Sony SLHF360 Super Betamax. This one is mine. It was given to me after we found out that their front loader had been broken. That was the one that the owner of it stuck his hand in to lift it up and snapped it. Well, I think I might have the part to fix it. So we're going to get back into this one and see if I can get it to work. I don't know if I'm going to be successful on this Betamax or not. This is mine now. It was given to me a while back. We've already taken a look at it. This is the one that the front loader, the owner of it, damaged the front loader when he put his hand in to lift it up. He broke the loading. He broke the front loader. I got a scrap machine, different model, completely different loading assembly. As you can see, this one has its own separate loading motor. This came out of one that used the planetary gear set. So this is a much older one. I don't know whether the actual rail is going to be the same or not, but we're going to find out whether I can swap out the broken rail and make a good machine. I do have a machine that I can steal the part out of, but it's a functional machine, and it's not a hi-fi machine though. It's just a regular non-hi-fi Super Beta. But I would still rather not do that if I don't have to. I would rather not destroy a working machine to make another working machine, even though I'll end up with a better working machine. I would rather try to find a part from one that is complete scrap. I haven't been doing a lot of work in the shop as of late, only because I've been buried literally under a mountain of archiving work, tape archiving. So basically my equipment has been tied up, my facilities have been tied up doing tape archiving. So I can't do two things at once. I can go out and work in the shop and repair stuff, but I can't edit any videos while my equipment is tied up. Remove the whole front panel. And yes, DVDs are still alive and kicking, as 4 out of 5 of my customers on the orders I'm working on right now are getting DVD backups as well as USB, so that if one fails, they've got a backup. So of course the cassette housings are completely different, but I think this piece might be the same. So I'm going to continue to tear this down, pull the carriage assembly out, and see if it will work in this one. This gear here looks to be very similar. Be able to just pop this apart and remove it without too much trouble. Hopefully this one's not broken. Okay, that part comes off pretty easy. Then I should be able to just remove the entire basket like that. And drag the other one apart. Is it the same? I guess we'll find out pretty quick. Is this piece the same? It's not. It's not. It's not, unfortunately. I was hoping that these were going to be the same piece. But as you can see, they are completely different. Unfortunately, this one here is, down lower. It's the top pin on this one here. On this one it's the bottom pin. Oh well, it was a nice thought that I could salvage one piece to fix another one. Or was that another broken? This is the wrong one. Oh, this is the broken one, okay. Oh well, I guess I can throw this back together, as there's no point in wasting any more time on this. This one is, unless I can find a part, this is beyond repair. At least this basket is. Someone's going to come along and say 3D print it. I know it. I'm waiting for it. Someone's going to tell me they can 3D print the part. Oops. I got to put this all back together. But you know, perhaps 3D printing is the answer in some cases, but I think it's going to help me much in this one. So this one will just be used as spare parts in case I need a gear or something, right, to fix another one at some point. Because you see right here I have a complete assembly that's not broken. This came out of a donor machine that it was a working machine, but I sold the head drum out of it to a customer to fix his machine that the head was shot. It was seized up. So I've already cannibalized parts out of another machine to fix a guy's machine up. So this is the second cannibalized part out of that machine, and I'm going to use it to get this one running. I knew I had the machine, I just didn't know if it was the right mechanism, because I'd forgotten which model it was. I made a trip out to my storage unit, hauled it out and took a look at it, and lo and behold, it's the correct one. So, good chance I'll get this machine running. Make sure I get the wires the right way around. Look at the old one. Yep. Yep. Making sure that the red dot's on the right side. My motto is, one cannot have too many Betamax machines when they are in the video digitizing and conversion business. So anytime I get a chance to make a good machine out of a bad one, as long as I'm not taking a working machine and destroying it. The other machine that this was just pulled out of, it had the head drum was cannibalized out of it to fix one machine. The pinch roller was cannibalized out of it to fix another machine, owned by the same guy that the head drum fixed, but different machine. And I think the ST, let me double check that it's got the STR in that I'm thinking of, but I'm pretty sure the STR regulator that was in it, yeah, STR 5478, actually went into my SLHF360 to fix it. So one mono machine has fixed an SLHF360, I think a second HLF900, and at least 3 machines. Oh, I know what it was, an SLHF1000. The pinch roller went into an HF1000. The head drum out of it went into a 900, and the regulator went into my SLHF900, and now the cassette basket is going into this SL, whatever this thing is, SLHF360. So let's see if it works. Let's see if it threads the tape. Oh, it doesn't. What else is wrong with this thing? Okay, well this has got more problems than just the broken gear, that's for sure. Because the motor's not coming on here to load the tape. That's not good. Well, I guess this front loader might have a problem as well. I'll have to pull it back out and we'll just check all the switches and stuff on it, because it doesn't appear to be even attempting to load. Again, this loader that I grabbed, it came out of a machine that was being picked apart for parts, so I don't know if there was anything wrong with the front loader before the machine became a parts donor. There could have been something wrong with it, and might still be something wrong with it. For that matter, the motor might be shot. But we can take it out and verify that outside of the machine. So I can get this front panel off again. I should have tested it before putting the front panel on, but I was confident that it was going to work, and well, it's not. So we're just going to remove this and check this front loader out outside of the machine. If I put voltage to this, I'm just going to release the catch here so that it's partway in. If I put some voltage to this, I got 6 or so volts on here. I'll just make it 6 volts even. The motor should turn one way or the other. The motor's not really doing much. Maybe the motor's shot. Well, we'll take the motor off the other one. I'll take the motor off this first and see whether it'll turn without being connected to this, but there's no resistance on the worm gear, so maybe the motor is FUBAR, as they say. I probably just said a bad word for YouTube, FUBAR. Will this motor turn with 6 volts applied to it? Well, now it turns. Well, what gives? Oh, you know what? It's cracked. That's what's wrong. This is cracked. So the motor's spinning, but it's not providing any torque. I think that was repaired on the other one, so just pull the motor out of the other one. I think the other one was glued in place, so we'll just swap the motors over, and that should fix that problem. Swap the motor from the broken one. I know it's glued because the worm gear stuck to it. So we'll just swap the whole worm gear. And reattach the screws and try this one again. We'll get it. Yeah, I just heard on the radio today, and it was on CBC News, that I don't know. I find this hard to believe, but I find it hard to believe that anybody is worth what a certain performer seems to think she's worth. I'm not going to say the name. I don't even know what her music's like. I've never heard her music. I don't listen to her. I don't like her music. But apparently lots of fans like to pay big dollars and go see her. And I just heard on the radio today that I guess this performer is coming here for the only stop in Canada next year, like next December. And hotels have already jacked their room rates up to, and I'm not kidding you, $3,700 a night for 2 nights. Plus taxes, of course. And all the Airbnbs, I'm sure, are doing the same. I guess if you run an Airbnb and someone's dumb enough to pay $4,000, because with taxes it would come to like $4,200 bucks. Because it's like there's the hotel room tax and then there's regular taxes, all that. It's like $4,200 bucks for a weekend. Ridiculous. But I guess if people will pay that, then they are dumber than they look. Because I sure as hell wouldn't pay that kind of money. I wouldn't pay that kind of money to go see somebody I want to see. Never mind someone I don't want to see. Is it going to work? It's still not working. What the hell? What, it jacks? Why won't it go in? Oh. Okay. We are out of time, I guess. Literally out of time. Thanks for watching.
I love the view up here. What's this? Crap, not again. Ah, fuck.
Like, there shouldn't really be any timing to do on this thing. It should always just load. But again, I don't know the history of this mechanism. It may have been monkeyed with before. When I got the machine years and years ago, it was one that was never fixed. It was just one that was handed to me and, here, you want a beta machine? This activates a switch, this lever activates a switch when you push the tape in. Just pop out the clips on the side here. Just make sure that the timing is correct. I probably should have did that when I first took it apart. But since I didn't take this apart, I didn't think the timing would be off. But obviously it's not correct. It's just because I didn't take it apart before doesn't mean that somebody else didn't. Again, I don't know the history of the machine. It was given to me many years ago, and I haven't done anything with it other than steal parts off of it. There are holes on here that line up. You can look through the chassis, you can see a hole there. There's a hole down here that lines up with this one on the end of the gear. So I just line it up so that I can see daylight through the other hole on the other side and pop it down like that. That should have the alignment correct for the mechanism. We can run it through the modes manually before putting it back together for the third time. Okay, when the tape goes in, it releases the catch here. When it pushes in, it activates a switch, which starts the mechanism going, and it gets cranked down like that. And then on eject. It goes up and it's not going straight. Why? And back. Is there something else broken on here? I don't think so. I think it's okay. Looks to be okay. We will try it for the third time. Okay, that goes down. Oh, you know what? Like one of my switches is stuck. Damn it. Alright, so what happened was when I put the front loading mechanism in, the little plastic pin that I showed you on the side of the basket that activates the switch right down here, well, it actually pushed the switch down. That's the little lever there I was talking about. That actually was pushing this switch out of position. So I just freed that up, and we'll try it again and see whether it will operate. I was wondering why the power wouldn't turn off when I hit the power switch. It was staying on, so that might have been why. Okay, it's off now. Power on, power off. Okay, that part works. Is it going to load the cassette? Yes. Is it going to thread? Yes. It is. So all so far so good. If I press play, I have a picture. No sound, but I have a picture. Oh, let's just try a different tape. Nice quiet mechanism there. Scenery from YouTube. So I can get hit with copyright from Lounge V Studios, because those guys are a bunch of pricks. They allow you to use the material, just not for other social media sites. So they're ridiculous, what they call royalty-free license that they grant you. You can display it in your store, you can display it in your doctor's or dentist's office or your office, or you can play it all day in your home if you want. You can do anything you want with it. You can use it as a demonstration for demonstrating high definition TVs, but God forbid show it on another video that shows up on YouTube or any other social media site. That's me turning the tracking control. I gotta kill the sound because we can't play Norman Brown. It's just music I've got on there with. I changed the music when I recorded this. Fast forward, beta scan forward, beta scan backwards. How's this machine as far as pause goes? It's not a good machine for pause. But it's not. Now, is there a slow tracking on this thing, I wonder? Like, I don't know whether this is a 3-head machine or a 2-head. I didn't really pay much attention. It's a super beta machine. It's probably a 2-head. Let's just see. So there's one head right there. You can see the 2 wires going into it. And there's the other head there. You can see the 2 wires. So this is only a 2-head machine. And that explains why it does not have good freeze frame or good slow motion, because you need a 3-head machine for that. But it does work fine. I'm not complaining because I've now just got myself another Betamax machine into my collection of beta machines that I will use for digitizing tapes. In fact, I'll probably start using this one for digitizing tapes just so I don't have to run up hours. I usually use my SLHF360. But there's not really any point in running up hours on that machine if I've got another one that will do the job just as well. And right? Wear this one out first. So keep that in mind. The cracked gear problem, which I've been over before, when you put the basket back in, make sure you don't trap that that pin switch with the lever, because how this operates is when you first push the tape in, there's no switch on the mechanism itself. If I eject it, you'll see the process that it goes through here. If I want to load it without a tape, for example, to load this without a tape, I can just press this little lever down and push the machine in. I just want to be able to see if you guys can see what happens down here with these switches. Okay, so this switch tells it that the cassette is in, and one of them is the record lockout switch. I forget which one's which. I think the one on the inner one, I believe. When you press a tape in, normally the tape won't go in because it's locked, but when you put a tape in, it releases this lock, which allows you to push the mechanism in. Now what you'll see happen is watch the lever down there. It will go in and it will press down on the switch, and now the machine loads because it knows there's a tape in it. This switch here is for the record lockout. So if the tab is broken off the bottom of the tape, that tab I'm talking about is that one. That's the record prevention switch. So for example, on a tape that you don't want to record on, you snap that tab out, and then you put a piece of tape over it if you want to record on it again. They made an improvement on the Betacam tapes, the Betacam SP tapes. They actually put a little switch there so you could flip it one way to record lockout and flip it back to record on it. But the conventional beta tapes, just like VHS tapes, you snap the tab off. In that case, you broke that tab off. That tab operates that switch. When that switch is up like this, you can't record. When the switch is down, you can. The second switch on the other side is what's pushed down by the mechanism, and that is what tells it when you put a tape in. If we eject, you'll see what happens. Was it the inner or the outer switch? It's the outer switch that tells it to load. You see, if I tap that switch, it loads. So it's actually the record switch that gets tagged. If I release the mechanism and push it in again, you'll watch. It will actually move the record switch, which is the outside one. That's the one that doesn't get trapped down by the mechanism when it goes down, or the basket when it goes down. So if I push this down a little further, it operates that switch. Then that switch comes back up so that it can operate as the record lockout. On these machines, if we wanted to make the mechanism load without putting a tape in, we could just tap this secondary switch over here, and I think that would do it. There. Do that, and it loads. That's how you trick these machines into thinking there's a tape in them. Notice if I just press this switch here, nothing happens. I have to press the other one first because that initiates loading. So when you tap the record switch, or the record lockout switch, that instigates the loading motor to come on, and then you tap this other one, and that triggers the loading of this machine. This is a good chassis, this one that Sony made. I think probably this was one of the better of the Betamax, the late generation Betamax chassis. This was one of the better machines. I'll demo that again because the camera was zoomed in. So if I press the outer switch here to instigate the loading, and then I tap that one, that will start the loading cycle. Put the machine into loading mode so that you can test it without a tape in it. And then I'll eject. Just like that. Okay, I'm going to put the front cover on the machine and we'll test it some more. And there it is playing. Tracking is absolutely dead center. You really can't beat that picture. I should record some of my stuff on here. Although this stuff looks very similar to stuff that I've shot. I've got footage that I did myself in a lot of the same locations that these were done in. The ones that were done down the California coast, I've got pretty much the same locations on my tapes, or my DVD, or whatever. Memory stick, let's say. Anyway, it's working. I'll check my sound again. And this machine also supports playback in Beta 1. This is the Beta 1 tape I've got playing now. This is recorded in Beta 1S. I don't think I had the SHB turned on because it wouldn't play back properly if I did. I'm pretty sure this was just Beta 1S, not Beta 1S HB, but it's playing it fine. As you can see, the tape is moving along pretty good because, well, it's a Beta 1 tape. So I wanted to make sure that that works, and it does, which is good. This was recorded on the last Virgin Betamax tape I opened. I think I've got one or two more of these tapes. Oh look, it even says PAL C-Cam on it. I wonder where this came from. But, oh, the other label says NTSC. So it came with different labels. It came with two labels. One for NTSC and one for PAL C-Cam. That was rather nice of them. Anyway, a friend gave me a couple of beta tapes that he found in his dad's collection of junk. And I opened one of them up and made a recording on it. This is the only thing that's ever been recorded on this. It's been recorded once and it's been played, you know, a handful of times when I've been testing machines, but it doesn't have a lot of miles on it, and I just kind of keep it just for verifying that these machines are working correctly. Anyway, this one's working now. It's sounding good. The sound is fine. And the picture looks good. So I'm going to call this one a success. Take two old machines and make one new one. Don't need to service this because I did that. In fact, I serviced this machine for the fellow that owns this one. I serviced this one a year or so ago, and he's another guy in the tape business, the tape conversion business. And when he went to grab it to use it, he broke the mechanism and then brought it back to me. And when I told him what had happened, he just said, keep it. He didn't want to put any more money into it. So that's how I ended up with this one. Now it becomes part of my collection. I'm sure if he wanted to buy that mechanism from me, we could have had a deal, but he didn't want to spend the money because he's got other ones. He's got many other machines. So this was just one that when he grabbed it, he picked it up, put his hand in here, lifted it up, and he broke it. So all the other work has been done on this. I did that last time when this was serviced. I fixed that motor. That was one of the things that was wrong with it before. It had the loading motor, and the drum was all nice and shiny. It's funny, I put my hand near here and I get interference from the plasma. I'll show you guys what happens when I do that. Put my hand near the head drum and I'm just picking up interference from the plasma screen. Anyway, another beta machine lives. That'll make all the beta fans happy, and it also makes me happy because I keep another good old beta machine running, as we got to do what we can to keep these old machines going. There's lots of tapes out there still that people have not archived. I just got 10 beta tapes in this week to transfer over to digital. There's lots of them out there. They all got to get done while we still got machines that play them, and these machines are getting harder and harder to find. The ones that are out there are wearing out, or people are just cleaning house and throwing them out, which is not good. As long as there's media out there to digitize, we need to keep these machines running as long as we can. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.